It's funny, but we always seem to connect getting older with like slowing down. I swear every time I visit my grandma, she's got a new story about how her knee is acting up, or, it's like we just assume that decline is just part of getting older. But what if I told you that a lot of what we blame on those birthday candles could actually be because of something else, something we can actually change? That's what's so interesting about this deep dive we're doing. We're going to be unpacking some really cool research that kind of throws those aging assumptions out the window. And trust me, you're going to want to take notes for this one. We're diving into a study about whether the real reason we slow down as we age is actually because of inactivity, not just time.
And the way they did this is fascinating. The researchers didn't just look at older adults. So imagine you're a young, healthy person and you sign up for this study. You might find yourself stuck on bed rest for days doing everything lying down. Or maybe you're told to drastically reduce your daily steps, like way down to less than 1,500 a day.
Less than 1,500 steps? That's like barely making it to the coffee machine and back. So what happened? Did these people just start like aging before our eyes?
Well, I wouldn't say aging in like the traditional sense. But the results were definitely eye-opening. They found that forcing these young people into these states of inactivity actually caused some of the same muscle and metabolic changes that we typically see in older adults. It's like they were hitting fast forward on certain parts of the aging process.
Wait, are you serious? Just from laying around or like hitting the lowest step goal on their fitness tracker, they were showing signs of aging?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Okay, I need details. What kind of changes are we talking about?
Well, for starters, let's talk about muscle strength. The people in the bed rest part of the study saw their muscle strength drop significantly in a matter of days. Like we're talking visibly smaller and weaker muscles.
Days. You're kidding. That's crazy. Especially when you think about those times when we're kind of forced to be less active, like recovering from an injury or if we get sick. Even just a week of taking it easy could be doing a number on our bodies.
Exactly. And the step count findings were just as crazy. Even reducing daily steps to less than 1,500, which,
Yeah.
let's be honest, is scary to be do with how we live now. Desk jobs, Netflix binges. It all had a measurable impact on things like muscle mass and metabolism in just 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, I think you just forced me to rethink my afternoon snack break. But seriously, this is huge. This really challenges that whole idea that aging automatically equals decline. It seems like inactivity is a much bigger deal than we realize.
That's exactly why this research is so groundbreaking. It shows us this crucial difference between primary aging, like the natural unavoidable passage of time, and secondary aging, which is all about how our lifestyle and our environment affect the way we age. And this study makes a really strong case that inactivity is a major player in that secondary aging process.
Okay, so we've established that inactivity is basically like hitting the fast forward button on aging, at least when it comes to our muscles and metabolism. But I got to know what's actually happening at a cellular level to cause these changes. Like, is there a way to picture it?
Absolutely. Think of it this way. When you're inactive, your body kind of goes into this like use it or lose it mode. And muscle, it's often the first thing to go.
Right. We're not exactly giving our bodies a reason to keep those muscles around if we're spending most of our time sitting, are we?
Nope. But here's where it gets interesting. So our muscles are made up of different types of fibers, right? You've got your fast twitch fibers and your slow twitch fibers. Think of those fast twitch fibers like the friends you call when you need help moving a couch. They're all about those quick bursts of power and strength. And guess what? Those are the first to go when inactivity sets in.
So it's not just like our muscles are shrinking in general. We're losing the specific type that helps us with those everyday activities that need a little muscle. No wonder those grocery bags seem to get heavier every year. Or like, I swear I need superhuman strength to open a pickle jar these days.
Exactly. But wait, there's more. Inactivity doesn't just mess with those muscle fibers. It also throws a wrench into our mitochondria. Those little powerhouses in our cells that keep our energy levels up?
Mitochondria. Those were always my favorite part of biology class. Something about tiny bean-shaped energy factories. I don't know, it just works for me.
Well, get ready for this because when we're inactive, our mitochondria become less efficient. It's like imagine a car engine that's all sputtering and struggling because it's been sitting in the garage for too long. That's kind of what's happening at a microscopic level in our bodies when we're not moving enough.
So not only are we losing those powerhouse muscle fibers, but the tiny energy plants in our cells are also phoning it in. No wonder we feel tired and sluggish. It's like a double whammy of energy depletion.
You got it. And if that wasn't enough, inactivity throws another curveball at us. Insulin resistance.
Okay, insulin resistance. That's one of those terms I hear thrown around, but to be honest, I'm not sure I could actually explain it.
I got you. So picture this: insulin is like a key that unlocks your cells to let in glucose, which is basically fuel for your body, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you're inactive, it's like those locks start getting rusty and the key can't do its job as well. The glucose starts building up in your bloodstream instead, and that's when things can start to go a little haywire with your health.
So we're talking about like a cascade effect here. Not only are we losing muscle and feeling tired, but we're also setting ourselves up for some potentially serious health problems down the road.
Basically. But the important thing to remember is that while these processes are happening to all of us as we age, inactivity basically throws gasoline on the fire. It's like hitting that fast forward button on all those age-related changes. But the good news is we have a say in how fast that button gets pushed.
Okay, after that roller coaster ride through the not so fun side of inactivity, I think I need some good news stat. Like, give me hope here. Is it possible to hit the brakes on this whole accelerated aging thing, or are we all destined for a future of stretchy pants and limited mobility?
Not even close. The study also looked at a group of older adults who are very active. And get this, they actually have muscle composition that was really similar to people decades younger than them.
Wait, really?
Yeah, even though they were older, their muscles hadn't gone through the same level of like atrophy or that fiber type switching we talked about.
So even if some of us have spent way too much time glued to a desk chair, I'm not judging. It's not too late to turn things around.
Not at all. Our bodies are incredibly adaptable even as we age.
Okay, that is encouraging. The idea that our bodies are basically begging us to move again, even if we've taken a break from exercise.
It's true. And the researchers were very clear that this isn't about like becoming an Olympian or suddenly turning into a gym rat if that's not your thing. The important thing is to find activities you actually enjoy and make them a regular part of your routine. Even small changes can make a huge difference.
So for those of us listening who might be feeling a little less than spry after all this info, what can we actually do? Like, what are some practical takeaways?
Well, first off, just be aware of how much you're moving. It's huge. Like, think about your day. Could you sneak in some extra steps here and there? Maybe take the stairs instead of the elevator. What about walking around while you're on the phone? Those little things really add up.
Right, it's not just about those dedicated workout sessions. It's about finding ways to move more throughout the day. But what about those more structured activities? What types of movement are going to be the most impactful?
Well, any movement is better than none. But strength training becomes especially important as we get older. It's like giving those fast-twitch muscle fibers a reason to stick around. Plus, it's great for your metabolism and helps with insulin sensitivity.
Got it, strength training. And just to be clear, this doesn't have to mean like deadlifting a zillion pounds unless that's your jam, of course. There are so many ways to do strength training, whether it's using your own body weight or grabbing some resistance bands. You can even challenge your muscles by carrying your groceries differently.
Exactly. The bottom line is find something you enjoy and can stick with. This isn't about being scared of getting older. It's about understanding that we have more power to influence how we age than we might think.
I love that. What a great takeaway. It's not about dreading those birthdays. It's about celebrating the fact that we have more control over our health and well-being than we might realize. We're not just along for the ride when it comes to aging. We actually get to decide how we want to navigate the journey.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's it for today's deep dive into the fascinating connection between aging and inactivity. We hope you learned something new and maybe you feel a little more inspired to move your body knowing that you have more control over how you age than you might think.